Hello, viewers. Welcome back to another episode of my show. In today's episode, we are going to talk about few tips on how to mitigate mistakes at work. One of the most dreaded conversations is admitting you made a big mistake at work, but the longer you put off this difficult conversation, the worse it gets. So, without taking more of your time, here is a 9 step checklist to help you admit your error and keep your reputation intact. Number one, take charge of your mind. It's easy to go off the deep and make up all kinds of stories in your mind about how big and bad the mistake is. But the first step is to calm down without panicking and realize that it is a growth experience. It's not the end of the world. Calming yourself down will give you a chance to recover and, if possible, course correct your mistake. You must take charge of your mind. The only way you'll get to truth is to separate the fact from the emotion. So, what is your emotion? Oh, I've made a big mistake. The company will never recover from this horrible mistake. But the fact is, my error likely will require some rework. This might cost the company, but I will help to correct it. Another emotion you might have to deal with is I'll never get another great assignment. But the fact is, I don't know the end result of this mistake. So keep in mind, calm down, keep the emotions aside, and get your facts right. Tip number two, get the facts. The easiest way to eliminate the mind drama is to get the facts. Fact finding is your prep work and it shouldn't take much time. Make a list to get clarity about what happened, why it happened, and what you can do about it. So, here is the list you can get started with to answer these questions. The difference between what was expected and what happened. When you realize the mistake, the business impact of your mistake, why you think the mistake happened, and ideas for correcting the mistake. Tip number three, ask for a private meeting. When you make a mistake, you need to face the issue head on and be prepared. You can use email, company chat, or text to ask for a meeting. It should be very simple, and you can go with it like this. This is your first name, and I would like to meet you tomorrow as soon as possible. Please give me a time when we can talk privately. I need to share something important. So, with this kind of message, you have kept it really brief, but you have conveyed that you really have to share something that is serious and really impactful. And if you don't get an immediate response, then go to that person and schedule a meeting personally. Tip number four, get support. Very important in such situations. So before your meeting, ask for some mentoring from a trusted colleague. If not colleague, preferably someone outside of your workplace. Someone who can give you an unbiased advice and help you figure out to course correct the problem. This may be your friend, your relative, or any professional you know who has a great reputation. Don't go straight to your best friend who doesn't have any more experience than you do. Seek help from someone with more workplace experience than you have. Tip number five, start with intention. Now, the day of the meeting is here and you have to own your mistake. Start your meeting with intention, like, thanks for the meeting with me. My intention for asking for this meeting is to share some unfortunate or some bad news. I recently discovered that I made a mistake on my project and I want to take responsibility and become the part of the solution. So this is how you start. Tell why you have very appropriately conveyed your intention for the meeting. And then tell your boss about your mistake. Remember the list you created in the tip I gave as tip number 2, where you should know what happened, what was expected, why it happened, how it happened, when did you realize, and such things. Tip number 6, create space. This is where you wait for a moment to get your boss's response. 5 seconds may feel like 5 ages, but wait for the response. Breathe deeply. You're now in the unknown and you must create enough space to allow your boss to process the information. You may be met with curiosity, compassion, or anger. Your job here is to listen and respond appropriately, not immediately. Tip number 7, take responsibility. You can't control how your boss responds, but even in the worst case scenario, you just know that you're only responsible for you. Decide to show up as one who has character. You're willing to take ownership. You're willing to fix it if possible. You're willing to learn. Don't start making excuses and don't blame. Don't become defensive, even if you feel scared. Repeat this mantra. I want to make it right and I'm willing to take direction. This small sentence means a lot and can give the right message about your image and about your professional ethics. Tip number 8, set your boundaries if necessary. Suppose the worst happens. Your boss loses his cool or her cool. If things seem to spiral out of control, set an appropriate boundary. You can say something like, I'm truly sorry or I truly apologize and I want to make this right. I would like to set another time to finish this when we both have had a chance to think clearly. Tip number 9, extremely important. Make it right. Supposing the best case scenario, your boss isn't thrilled, but he is willing to work with you to overcome the mistake. Correct the situation if there is a way to do so. Be prepared to offer your support go above and beyond to show your appreciation and willingness to learn. Tell your boss you are willing to share what you learned with new team members so that the business can avoid such mistakes going ahead. If you have determined that the reason the mistake happened is due to a lack of training, now is the time to bring this issue to the forefront. Always remember that mistakes are an opportunity to grow. And that difficult conversation about mistakes become manageable when you are willing to learn, own up, and help in the course correction efforts. With that, I take your leave and I will get back to you with another such informational and educational video. I hope you liked my video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and please spread it in your circle who really, really love some professional advice. With that, thank you very much. Stay safe and stay healthy.